Hey guys, my name is Amanda. Welcome to my channel. I'm so happy to have you here today. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 22 of my previous Valentine's DIYs to celebrate the year 2022. I really hope that you enjoy these DIYs, and if you do, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Also, if you like what you see, please consider subscribing. If you do subscribe, hit that bell button so you're notified every single time that I upload. Okay, let's jump right into the DIYs. For our first Dollar Tree DIY, I am going to share with you this block DIY. So I took 4 foam blocks from the Dollar Tree. They come two to a package, or they have smaller foam blocks that have sharper edges that come 4 to a pack. But I painted these with a coat of my Waverly Plaster chalk paint, and they're not completely covered yet, but there's a reason for that. So now I glue them into 2 sets of 2, and then I glue those together so I have a square with the 4 of them. And then I'm going to give it another coat of my Waverly Plaster chalk paint, and this way I can get in all the cracks and make sure that I have really good coverage on this. So I had just turned those little sides that didn't have paint inward where my blocks attach. Now once my blocks are dry, I'm going to take some beautiful ribbon that I had in my stash. I got it on clearance at Michael's last year, I believe, but Dollar Tree has gorgeous ribbon options, and I'm just going to make my ribbon a little bit thinner by folding in those wire parts with tiny dabs of hot glue so that I can go ahead and wrap my ribbon around this foam block. So I'm just going to go ahead, set it on the bottom, and just wrap it around, and I'm going to glue it up there in the corner where the 2 ends meet. So tiny dabs of hot glue, trimming off any excess, and I'm just kind of pulling this taut so it doesn't get bunchy anywhere and it doesn't interfere with the way this is going to sit. So here I am just doing that, and then once that is completely done, I am ready to move on to the next step. So for the next step, I'm going to take another coordinating ribbon. This I had in my stash left over from Christmas, and I'm just going to go around that beautiful spring ribbon just to give it a stacked look. Then I'm going to go ahead and make a bow. So how I make my bows is I crisscross the ribbon over like an X, and then I just cut off the excess. And then I'm going to take whatever I have on hand. In this case, it is some twine, and I'm going to tie it tightly around the middle, and then I'm going to fluff up my bow on either side so it looks nice and cute. Once that is done, I can go ahead and attach it to the top of my foam block pieces right there where my 2 ribbons connect, so I can cover up any seam or glue mess there. So here is what we have so far, and once that is done, we're ready to begin with our word. But first, I'm going to glue down a little flower for my O, and this little flower just came from my stash. Dollar Tree has tons of flowers, and they do have cute little mini pink and white flowers. Then I just take these Dollar Tree poster stickers. They come in black, but I gave them a coat of my Waverly Ballet slipper, and I just go ahead and put them down on this block, and then I Mod Podge over them, and this is what it looks like. So cute, so easy, and so customizable. For our next Dollar Tree DIY, I am going to share with you a floral wreath using Dollar Tree signs and Dollar Tree wreath form. So I'm going to begin by laying everything out. I have some florals, some ribbons, the Dollar Tree sign, the Dollar Tree wreath form, and I start by just taking this ribbon. Again, I just had this in my stash. I got it on clearance after Christmas, but you can really use any ribbon. You just glue it down and wrap all the way around your wreath form. So I go ahead and do that. I like to use strips. It just makes it easier for me to wind it around. And then I remove the little jute hanger from my sign, and I glue my sign on. Now, as you see, I did run out of ribbon in the little section there at the bottom of my wreath, but that is okay because we're going to be using so many florals and stuff. I did not even worry about it. So here I am just kind of gluing that down with the hot glue right in the middle of my wreath. Once that is complete, I'm going to take some pink flowers that I purchased at the Dollar Tree and just remove one bunch. So I use one bunch of these pink ones, and I'm just going to kind of place them a little bit apart so that I can fit some florals in between them. So I put that big one there kind of in the middle, and then a small one on one side, another bigger one a little bit higher up. You can do this however you like it, but basically I just wanted to put florals around this part of the circle. So I'm going to use some of these beautiful kind of peachy orangey ones, tucking them in the middle of the pink ones as well. And then I'm going to be using some mini cream and pink roses from Dollar Tree. Absolutely gorgeous. I love these. And I'm just going to be tucking them here and there to kind of fill up any gaps and just make this look super full and super pretty. So now I'm going to go ahead and take some more flowers from Dollar Tree. These have these little tiny flowers and these beautiful greenery pieces. I'm just going to take them all apart and start tucking my greenery here and there, as well as my pretty flowers here and there. And I'm just going to put them where I like them on the outer edge to make it really fluffy. And I think that looks absolutely gorgeous. Now here's the bow that I made. I didn't want to keep showing you my bow process over and over, but I just used that same X method and just stacked up 2 different ribbons and tied them tightly in the middle. I placed them on top of my wreath where I wanted it to go. Now I did wrap a little piece of lace around the middle and glue a little pearl, and then I just took some more of that greenery and a couple flowers and tucked it on either side of my bow to tie everything together. I think this is absolutely beautiful. It is in its place of honor in my living room, and I will leave it up through spring, as I think that it is beautiful for spring as well. So I really hope that you guys like this wreath. So for the next one, I'm going to show you gorgeous wreath using Dollar Tree items as well. Mostly Dollar Tree items for the wreath base. Now some of these florals did come from Michael's and Dollar Tree and Hobby Lobby on clearance. It's kind of a mixture that I had in my stash. But my wreath form, my gather sign, and this baby blanket, which I cut into strips, is all from Dollar Tree. So you're just going to want to cut your baby blanket down into strips, because all we're going to be doing with these is just wrapping them around the wreath form to give our wreath form a nice coverage. So I'm just going to add some hot glue and just kind of tack down the edge of one of these strips and then wrap until I come to the edge of my end of my strip. Once I come to the end of my strip, I'll just glue it down and begin another strip. I apologize for the angle of this DIY. In the original video, I had misplaced my tripod. Well, my son had misplaced my tripod when he was helping me clean up, so I was using him just for this DIY. But anyway, now I glued this gather sign down, just using hot glue where the sign was going to touch the wreath form to make sure that it was nicely in place. Now I'm going to grab up some of these florals, and again, I had a mixture of Michael's, Hobby Lobby, and Dollar Tree, as I like to grab from here and there when things go on deep discount and just kind of put them in a tote and save them. So these particular flowers that I'm working with right now, I believe were Michael's. But if you keep your eye out when you go to craft stores, you can get really good deals at end of season. So I'm just gluing down this little pink one in the middle with 2 pretty white ones on either side. And then I'm just going to try and keep it pretty much uniform, doing a little Dollar Tree peach one on either side, and then filling in a little bit where there might be any empty spaces. I do add another little miniature rose from Dollar Tree on either side in this creamish color. I just think this wreath is so pretty, and I love the texture and softness that the baby blanket added to it. Dollar Tree sometimes has some really cute baby blankets, so keep your eye out. Now I'm using this eucalyptus kind of on either side of these roses and florals just to add a little bit of color and dimension to this DIY. And then I'm going to add a couple at the top corner of the gather sign, just a couple cream and a peachy one. So this is really customizable. You can do this however you like it, and then you can just put a little piece of twine on the back to be your hanger if you want to do that. And here you go, a beautiful I think, gorgeous, very inexpensive gather sign. I love the soft colors, and I think that is absolutely perfect for Valentine's Day, and I hope that you like it as well. So for our next Dollar Tree DIY, I'm going to show you how I made this absolutely gorgeous love coffee bar. So I began taking this little coffee bar that I had made at Christmas time. I took the words off. I had it in a Grinch style, but it is 9 little wooden drawers from the Dollar Tree. There's 6 in the back, there's 3, and then 3 more stacked on top, and then there's 3 in the front. So I had used 9. So I'm going to go ahead and take 6 more of these little drawers. I'm only using the outside, not the inside piece, but I'm going to take 2 of them, flip one upside down, and put the other on top of it. And then I am going to glue the other one in front upside down. This is different from the middle of my coffee bar because in the front there's no opening. I wanted that little ledge there so I could set things on it. So hopefully you can see what I did there. I just did that a little different, but of course you could flip it back right side up and have that opening. Now I paint the whole thing with my Waverly Plaster chalk paint. And here is what it looks like. I'm just giving you a good view so you can see what I did. And then I'm taking this Love MDF cutout from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to be painting that. I'm also going to be painting some jingle blocks. So you will need 8 of them, and I'm going to form 4 L's. The reason I'm doing this is because the love cutout is so large. If I were to just glue that to the front of my coffee bar, it would stand kind of funny. So I'm going to put these underneath the coffee bar as like little legs or little risers so that it stands nicely. So I paint these with my Waverly Ballet Slipper chalk paint and glue them on to all 4 corners. And I'm also painting that love sign with the Waverly Ballet Slipper chalk paint as well. So after we get all of these legs attached, I use hot glue, but you could use wood glue or E6000, whatever you like. Then I'm going to go ahead and take this love word and I'm going to glue it there to the front, making sure the bottom of the love is flush with my little legs there so everything sits nice. Then I'm going to take this Dollar Tree heart. I'm going to remove the love word and the little flowers from it. I also remove the hanger. So now what I'm going to do is paint that with that ballet slipper as well. And then I am going to glue it to the back of my coffee stand. At first I kind of had it at an angle, but then I turned it so it was a little more upright. So now I have this absolutely gorgeous sweater ribbon that I purchased at Michael's, 75% off. So I'm going to take a strip, put it around my heart, and I'm also going to put it around the first layer or the top layer of our coffee bar there, just gluing it in the back and then wrapping it around. I think that this is so adorable. Then I add the flowers back. My son is helping me here. We're adding the flowers back to the top. I don't show it on camera, but I do take a little piece of that sweater ribbon and put it in the middle of that love heart just to tie everything together. And you guys, this was so easy and so adorable. So again, we used 15 of those wooden boxes, and then this heart and the love sign. So a little more than I usually spend on a project, but so functional. Perfect for a coffee bar or even desk organization. There's so many things you could do with this. I definitely think it's worth it and so customizable. I am absolutely in love with this project. To be honest, it's one of the favorites I have ever made on my channel. I want to mention my inspiration for this project. Bargain Bethany does a lot of coffee bars, and also Chic on the Cheap has done some amazing ones as well. So now I'm going to show you coffee mugs that fit perfectly on the edge of my coffee bar. I began by taking these 2 pieces from the Dollar General. They were $2, but if you can get them on clearance, they'll be even less. I removed the ribbons, and I'm going to give them both 2 generous coats of my ballet slipper by Waverly. After removing that little tag there, I use my heat gun. And then I'm going to use some caulking. Dollar Tree sells the push kind, which is what I have right now. I had cut the bottom off so I could reach it better as I have short thumbs. And then they also sell a tube, but I had no idea my husband had a caulk gun until he walked in and saw me struggling and said, oh, I have a tool for that. So I go ahead and squeeze this all over the top, and I am going to do that top ridge there too. So Bargain Bethany does tons of fake treats and fake milkshakes and all kinds of goodies. I know a lot of other creators do too. I always think of her when I use this because she does so many amazing things. So I will link her below, but I just use a little bit on there, and then I, like I said, go over that top layer too, and I'm going to leave that dry overnight. After I'm done with that, here is a bunch of different options to decorate with, all from Dollar Tree. So I end up choosing a little bit of each. I put a couple of felt hearts and a flower and some of those little glittery hearts. Now I will say I did learn later on in this video that if your caulk is hardened and you want to glue something to it, it's best to just use a tiny dab more of caulk, because hot glue won't stick to the hardened part. So I just later on in this video I figured that out, and a tiny dab works really well. So here I am, I'm trying to use hot glue to glue this heart on, and that stayed okay, but when I put the flower in there it fell off. So that's how I learned a tiny dab of caulk will hold that onto the hardened part. Okay, so just finishing up this decoration, and while I'm doing that, I want to take this opportunity to say thank you so much for stopping by my channel. I'm so happy to have you here. Please consider subscribing and joining our little crafty family. If you've already subscribed, you're absolutely amazing, and I appreciate you. Also, please hit that thumbs up button. It's a free way to support your girl. So here is what these come out looking like. I hope you like them as much as I do. So for our next DIY, I'm going to show you how I made this wooden window. So I purchased these wood frames panels from Walmart. They come 5 to a pack, I believe, and they are $2 and change. So I'm just going to lay 4 of them out in a square formation, and then I'm going to flip them over and glue them together. Once I do that, I'm just going to take 2 spare pieces of wood I had from broken Dollar Tree crates, but you can use popsicle sticks or whatever you like just to add some stability to this piece. So like I said, I'm just going ahead and gluing it together, and I am just using Gorilla Hot Glue, but you can use any type of adhesive that you like. If you would like to use an E6000 or something like that, that would be fine. But I find that this works for me pretty well with this Gorilla Glue. So again, just using these spare pieces of wood to stabilize the back. And again, use anything you like. You could even use a piece of foam board to stabilize the back. Then I flip it back over and I give the whole thing, well, not the whole thing, just the frames, I'm sorry, a coat of my Waverly Plaster chalk paint. Then I go ahead and take a pretty piece of scrapbook paper that I had purchased at Michael's. It came in a pack, and I'm going to cut 4 squares down to size. I'm going to use my glue stick to go ahead and put them in each corner, and I'm just doing that because I don't want the wrinkles from Mod Podge, and this glue stick holds really well. And also that way, if I want to change up this paper, it won't be as big as a mess. Then I'm going to take one of these little grapevine wreaths that I had purchased at Hobby Lobby after Christmas. There were 4 to a pack, and I got them 75% off. I'm going to use a piece of this beautiful ribbon that we've been seeing a lot of in this video, and I'm just going to loop it through there and glue it to the back. Then I'm going to take some of these pretty little roses from Dollar Tree. Now, actually, these roses had come off a headband. I had cut them off a little lighted headband that I purchased last spring. Then I'm just going to glue a heart right there in the middle, and this heart is from an 8-pack from Dollar Tree. You could paint it or stain it if you would like. Then I'm just going to take some more of those little greenery pieces that I used in the last DIY, and I am just going to tuck them here and there around my flowers just to tie this together with the ribbon and bring out some of this gorgeous green and also contrast all the pink. So here is what it looks like, you guys. I hope that you like it as well. So now I'm going to show you how I made these glass heart jars. I've seen several creators do this, so I wouldn't be sure who to credit, and I actually had done this when I first began my channel but I wanted to do it again, and I'm actually doing it a little bit of a different way. So these are Christmas jars that I had purchased from Dollar General after Christmas. I believe I got them like 75 cents each, and I am going to be using Dollar Tree vinyl that I cut into a heart shape. And the reason I'm doing this is because, one, I could not find my painter's tape, and two, I know this vinyl does not stick very well to glass, or it's easily removable. And also, it's just easier to work with than the painter's tape. So Dollar Tree permanent vinyl, I just cut a little heart shape. You could use your Cricut to cut out your heart, but I just did it by hand. And then I painted my vase with 2 coats of Waverly Ballet Slipper chalk paint. Now, I will mention before I forget, before I begin painting, I did Mod Podge that and allow it to dry. Then I just remove that vinyl heart once my paint is dried and I'm ready for the next step. I take some jute twine and I wrap it several times around the mouth of my jar. It doesn't matter how many times you go around. And you also want to Mod Podge the outside of this jar as well after it's painted. I'm not sure if I showed that or not, but now I'm going to use these gorgeous laser woodcut pieces from Dollar Tree that I've been showing you here. And I'm going to take another piece of twine and tie it around my jar. 2 tails for my laser cut wood pieces. So 4 of them are going to be painted with my Waverly Plaster chalk paint, and 2 of them will be painted with my Waverly Ballet Slipper chalk paint. I used one from a different package because I had used one. So they do come 6 to a pack, but one of mine has leaves on it. As I said, I had to substitute. But here I'm just going ahead and I'm going to use the flowers that have the Waverly Plaster chalk paint on my paint jar for contrast, and then on my other jar, my jar with the Waverly Plaster chalk paint, I'm going to use the pink florals. I hope that makes sense, but you'll see here, just to add some contrast and dimension. So here I am, I had tied my little jute twine bow, I have my tails, and I'm just gluing my little florals down. I'm putting one a little bit higher than the other. I think it looks cute like that, but you do it however you like. Now, I don't have a lot of beads on hand, but if you had some more beads, you could put a couple beads on there if you wanted to. The sky is the limit. I'm just giving you inspiration, but here's what it looks like. I put it all on a Dollar Tree tray that I painted for this craft. Next, I'm going to show you how I made this gorgeous ribbon tassel. Now, I know I just got done saying I didn't have beads, but these ones are already spoken for. So I'm taking some ribbon pieces here that are all the same length. You can make them as short or as long as you like, and some lace pieces. I'm going to pinch them in the middle and tie that, and then I will fold that over and wrap some twine around the top so it looks like this. I'm sorry I lost a little clip of me doing that, but it is easy peasy, and I'm just going to leave the strings long at the top. The strings that I had originally used to pinch my ribbon in the middle, if that makes sense, I'll just leave them long at the top so I can go ahead and tie it onto my garland. Now I'm pinning some paint of my choice, which is my Waverly Ballet Slipper, in a Ziploc baggie along with a little tiny bit of water to dilute it, and I am mixing it up. Now I'm going to take my beaded garland from Dollar Tree. I'm going to put it in that bag and I'm going to smush it and squish it around. Once I am done with that, I'm going to remove it from the bag and place it on a plate and allow it to dry. Once it is completely dry, it has this absolutely gorgeous kind of stained look, and I really like it. This is the easiest way that I have found to do this. So now once it's dry, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take a Dollar Tree heart for one end and my tassel for the other end. So I tie my tassel on one end, and then I take this Dollar Tree heart, comes 8 to a pack. I had used my, of course, Waverly Ballet Slipper chalk paint, and I'm going to go ahead and glue that on the other way. And that's about it for this super cute, super easy tassel. I absolutely love how it looks, and I hope that you like it too. I want to thank you once again for stopping by my channel. It means so much to me. If you have not subscribed, I'm going to invite you again to please subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up. Now, if you do subscribe, please remember to hit the bell button so you're notified every time that I upload. And here I'm just adding a tiny little twine bow. So that is it for this DIY. And now I'm going to show you how I made this gorgeous wood stand using items that I had on hand and also items from Dollar Tree. And the item I had on hand was from Dollar Tree too. But the item I had on hand was this margarita glass that I had already applied 2 coats of Waverly Plaster chalk paint and allowed it to dry and applied some Mod Podge. So I can just go ahead and use that. I love to reuse items. Then I'm going to take this heart that I had removed the rope hanger from, and I'm going to give each side 2 generous coats of my Waverly Plaster so that it has a nice finished appearance. And once that is done, I'm going to grab this margarita glass that I am reusing, and I'm going to paint it with some Waverly Ballet Slipper chalk paint, making sure that I have a nice coat on there. Once that is done, I do Mod Podge it. I like to Mod Podge over glass to make sure my paint does not scratch off. Now I have some of these beautiful stickers from Dollar Tree. I love to use these on my channel. They are wall stickers, but they're awesome for projects. I'm going to use 3 on the top side of this heart. I am going to use 1 whole one, and then 2 of them I am going to cut in half. I'm going to place the halves on the sides of my heart so that it looks like it's just kind of coming out, and so it has a more organic look, and just trim off any excess. And once I get this all done the way that I like it, I am going to Mod Podge over it to make sure that my stickers are nicely sealed in and also make sure that they don't get damaged. So here I'm just adding in my flowers. You can also trim off some of the leaves if that doesn't have the exact look that you want. So here at the end of this DIY, you will see that I do use some Waverly Antique wax to distress this little heart stand, but if you do not like distressing, you can just totally skip that part. It is absolutely optional. So here, just trimming off the excess, and here's the Mod Podge I told you about. I'm actually using dishwasher safe Mod Podge. So this craft will be waterproof, but once that is done, I'm going to use some hot glue, generous amounts, to adhere the top of my heart, my heart, to the bottom, which is now the top of this margarita glass. Now, if you want a really long-term and strong hold, you can use E6000 or Gorilla Glue. I'm also taking this heart lace ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to put it all around this wooden heart using tiny dabs of hot glue and pressing my ribbon down. Now, you may want to use some finger protectors if you have sensitive fingers. I do not, so I am not using them, but Dollar Tree does sell some, and they also sell silicone spatulas that are perfect for crafting. Once you come to the end of your heart and there's ribbon all the way around, you can just go ahead and trim off the excess. I wanted to make sure that my 2 ends were in the top of the heart where the 2 humps meet, and that way I would have a nice clean finish. Once I am done with that and trimming off my excess, you are then going to see me doing the distressing with the Waverly Antique wax like I had talked about. I do love distressing. It really does give items an older kind of vintagey look, and it can be really nice. But I know it is not for everyone, and certainly not for every project. So for this one, I just went ahead right on top of that Mod Podge and just lightly dry brushed. A dry brush is when you barely have anything on your brush and you just rub your brush along your item. So here is what that looks like. I really hope that you like this. This only cost me a couple dollars, not much at all, and I think it is absolutely adorable. Please remember not to place open food on top of a Mod Podge at any time, but you could place wrap goodies or a candle or any little decorative items that you wanted to on top of this riser and be so adorable. I have this other little DIY that I'm going to show placed on here, and there's what that looks like. So for the next one, I have seen a lot of people doing kissing booths, but this is my take on it. So I got this kissing booth sign from the Dollar Tree. It's so cute. One side says 25 cents and the other says for free. So all these wooden pieces come from the Dollar Tree, the little pallets and the little wooden squares. So I'm going to go ahead with the 4 pallets and I'm going to glue 2 of them together. And then I'm going to put a popsicle stick at the seam to hold it. So I'm going to do that twice. And these are the sides of my crate. So now I'm going to go ahead and put some glue there, as you see me doing right outside that little stabilization piece. And I am going to place my wooden piece from the Dollar Tree, the wooden square, right there so that it is going to form the sides of my crate. It sticks nicely right up against that little ledge there, and these do stick out just a tiny bit on the top, but I think that's super cute, so I don't mind. Then I'm going to go ahead and carefully place my other side there on top. I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on each slat and then just place it down and hold it until my glue is dry and everything is stable. This was so easy. So those wooden square pieces come 6 to a pack at Dollar Tree. If you can't find them at Dollar Tree, you can find them at Walmart for just a little bit more, but they're basically the same piece. So here again, I'm showing you what they look like. Wooden planks. These are from Crafter's Square. I am going to place 3 of them together for the bottom of my crate, and then I have to trim one of them like you saw to make it fit. So I'm going to go ahead and use some popsicle sticks to hold this all together. Now the popsicle sticks are going to be on the bottom, so I'm careful to put a popsicle stick on each end of this to make sure that it's not going to affect how it stands and it will stand level. So I'm not quite sure if I show that. Oh yeah, I do. I put one on each end to make sure we have some level standing, and then just flip it over. Then I'm going to go ahead, flip the whole thing upside down so I can glue my bottom on. And I'm going to put some hot glue all along the pieces. Sorry about that little noise, but I'm going to put some hot glue all along the pieces where my bottom is going to touch. So then I flip this back over and here we go. I'm taking 2 pieces from a paint stir stick that come 3 to a pack for about $1 at Walmart. You can cut these to any length that you like depending on how high you want your stand. I glue them to the back and then I'm going to go ahead and paint this. So my crate is painted with Waverly Valley Slipper, and my sticks are painted with some Waverly chalk paint in the color of Plaster. Then I'm going to glue my kissing booth sign down, carefully making sure that the little piece in the middle can still turn. So these wooden sticks are the perfect size for either sides of the sign, and they don't interfere if you place it just right. And here is what it looks like. So awesome. So I'm taking some pom-pom garland that I had left over from Christmas time to decorate the front of this, but you can decorate the front however you like. Dollar Tree has some pink pom-pom garlands out right now with larger pom-poms, but I thought this was cute. Then I'm taking some Dollar Tree pink glittery stickers in heart shape, and I'm just kind of making a little pattern here. No real rhyme or reason. Just sticking them down where I think they look cute, and I'm not using hot glue so I can pull them off if I should choose to do so. Then I'm going to put some more of these little hearts on our sticks that are raising up our sign just to decorate a little bit. Now this adorable little berry garland came from Dollar Tree as well, and I'm just going to wrap it around either side for some extra decoration. I just put the vase filler that I'm going to show you later on in this video inside of it, and a couple of lollipops, but I'm going to go ahead and buy some more lollipops, snacks, and treats for my kiddos and put it in there. So here is what this looks like. I really hope that you like it. So customizable, but very easy and inexpensive to build, and it's actually quite large. It holds quite a bit of stuff, so I was really proud of this one, and I hope you like it as well. So for the next one, I'm going to go ahead and try and get really creative here. So I'm using these styrofoam balls, and I'm also using these felt flowers from Dollar Tree, and I'm really just going to be gluing these roses on top of the styrofoam ball to make some vase filler. It's the next part of the vase filler that I thought I was so clever. So this one's easy peasy. I'm going to use about 9 of them for each ball, but you don't have to use that many. If you wanted to paint your balls, then you could spread out the roses a little bit more and paint your styrofoam. Then you could spread the roses out a little bit more and it wouldn't matter so much. But since I'm not painting my styrofoam ball, I'm placing my roses closer together because I had extra, and why not? I like the way it looks. So here I am just making sure that I get an even placement, just kind of putting 4 down first and then filling in the rest. So like I said, I use about 9. So I do some pink ones and then these beautiful purplish kind of flowers. I do some of those and just easy peasy, cute in a vase or a tiered tray or any kind of basket. Just looks really nice and is very inexpensive. So let me know, guys, if you saw the basket that I displayed these in. It's like a 2-tiered basket, but it's not flat and it's really difficult to kind of put things down in there. So what types of things would you put in an oddly shaped basket tray like that? Okay, so here's what these look like. Now, here's where I thought I was so clever. I found these pumpkins at Dollar General for like pennies, and I took the stems out, and then I just grabbed some yarn from my daughter who loves to knit, 2 different colors, and I just wrapped up these pumpkins. So what I loved is that the pumpkins come in different sizes, so I had a little bit larger and then a little bit smaller. And I'm going to contradict myself here. These were not from Dollar General. These were from Walmart, but I got them for just pennies and I was so proud. So here I am just wrapping and using tiny dabs of hot glue here and there, but I just think it looks so cute and is very inexpensive. If you have some old pumpkins on hand and some yarn on hand, then this project could basically be for free. So once you get done, you can just make sure that you tack down that end piece of yarn and then decorate it any way you like. I go ahead and use some Dollar Tree stickers. Dollar Tree has some of the cutest little felt stickers and little glitter stickers. You could decorate this with other colors of ribbon or beads or pearls, whatever you like, but I just do mine pretty simple. And here is what they look like. I did several of them, these 2 different pinks, and I just thought they were super cute. So here's a look at my basket coming up again, and you'll see what I mean. It's just a really oddly shaped basket that I found at Goodwill, but I just think it is so cute, and I do like this filler in here. So anyway, you guys, let's jump into the next few of these DIYs. Now I'm going to tell you before the next few come on, they were all from the same video from last year. It was a memory video in memory of my mom, so you'll hear me reference her several times. And the DIYs will be numbered, which the rest of the DIYs in this video are not numbered, but you'll see numbers on them, so please don't pay any mind to that. Like I said, these next few are just from the same video. So for the first one, I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful heart wreath with handmade roses. So I'm going to use the top of this ribbon spool to trace out some circles on a cereal box, and then I'm going to cut these circles out. Then I'm going to take a ribbon of my choice. This one came from Michael's on clearance, and I'm going to tie a knot. And once my knot is tied, I'm going to add a little bit of glue to get it to lay the way I want it to lay. And I'm going to begin to twist and I'm going to begin to wrap that ribbon around. So there's really no right or wrong way to do this. I've tried several different ways. They all end up looking really pretty, just as long as you have a center and just go around it. So as I go around, I'm just adding little tiny dabs of hot glue here and there. So I'm just using Gorilla hot glue. It works well for me. And then once I get it started, I'm going to go ahead and hot glue it onto my circle cardboard piece. And I'm going to continue twisting and wrapping all the way around until I get this flower to a size that I like. Once I get it to a size that I like, I can just trim off the end, and if necessary, I can tuck it under or under the cardboard. And then with any excess cardboard, I can just go ahead and trim that off. Then I have a really cute stable flower. Now, if you're going to be popping this onto a hard surface, you don't necessarily need the cardboard, but I do like like to do this for a wreath or something like that. So here's how I did this one, and I just took a couple of Dollar Tree pearls and popped them in there. Now, the reason I call this a memory craft is because today's video is a memory of my mom. She inspired me to start my YouTube channel, and it's been almost a year since I've started it. This May 3rd will be the 2nd year of my mom's angelversary when she went to heaven. And so I'm just kind of celebrating a couple different things with this video. My mom loved shabby chic. It was her style, shabby chic, Victorian. She actually left me a bunch of scrapbooking stuff and little doodads that I haven't been able to bring myself to use. So in today's video, I'm going to be using them. So this wreath is in memory of her because it's something that I know she would have loved. She loved lace. She loves flowers. So for this flower, I put some of that pretty ribbon along with a piece of lace, and I just continued the same process but with both ribbons, and then there will be another gorgeous flower. So I'm going to take this opportunity to thank you so much for stopping by today. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. If you have, you are my friend. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. We have so much good stuff coming up you will not want to miss. So make sure that you hit that bell button so you're notified every time that I upload. Also, one last thing, if you could hit that thumbs up, it really helps your girl out here on YouTube. So here I'm showing you another flower, and this one is actually just made with ribbon. You can use any wired Dollar Tree ribbon and do the same thing, just twisting. Now to begin our wreath, I'm just taking a Dollar Tree heart wreath form and some extra ribbon I had in my stash. This came from Dollar General after Christmas. I got it for $2. So I'm just, well, $2 and then like 75% off. So it was originally $2. My goodness. Okay, so now once I get my wreath form all wrapped up, and I did have to use a little bit of a different ribbon there on the side, but it ended up being a blessing and I love it. So here we go with that. Flip that back over. This is what it looks like. And then I'm going to take some of that beautiful Dollar Tree lace crochet ribbon, and I'm just going to wrap a few little stripes there at the top opposite the lighter colored ribbon on the bottom, so it contrasts and just looks really cute. Once I come to the end, I'll just go ahead and tack it down with some hot glue on the back. But I absolutely love the contrast and think it's really pretty. Now it's time to arrange our cute little flowers up there on the top of the heart. So I'm just kind of figuring out how I want them and how they lay nicely, and then I'm just putting some hot glue on the back of that cardboard there and tacking them on. Who knew these gorgeous flowers are part cereal box, you guys? It's amazing what you can do when you get creative. So now I'm just going to use that lighter colored ribbon and go ahead and just create a little bow with one loop on either side. Then some more lacy kind of creamish ribbon will go on top of the middle, which will be that pretty pinkish orangish peach. I don't even really know what to call that color, but I really love it. So here's my 3-stack ribbon. I'm going to tie it tightly in the middle and then wrap some more lace around it just to make it look super pretty. Oops, I thought I wrapped some lace around it. I just wrapped some of that light khaki colored ribbon around it. So there is my bow, but you can do it any way you like it. This craft is so customizable with whatever color that you like, whatever color scheme you are going for. You could use pink pearls and light pinks or blues or purples, anything you like. So then I'm just taking some more of these little pearls and just tucking them here and there around my little flowers and around my bow. And here is what it looks like. I love it. I think it's so pretty. I know that my mom would have squealed if she saw it. So this is for her. So here we go. Just a final look at it. It's so pretty and it was so easy to make. All right, let's move along to DIY number 2. So for this DIY, To create this gorgeous family sign with a bunch of Dollar Tree items and some of my mom's scrapbooking items. So I'm taking these two long Dollar Tree signs. They were for Valentine's Day, but Dollar Tree has them for several different seasons. I placed them together with some Gorilla Glue, but you can use any kind of glue that you like. I paint them with my Waverly Plaster Chalk paint. Now I have a family sign from Dollar Tree and two hearts that came on a hanging sign from Dollar Tree. I also have two scrapbook papers that I like and a glue stick. So I'm going to lay my family sign down on this pretty floral scrapbook paper, and I'm going to trace around. And then once I am done with that, I am going to carefully cut out this scrapbook paper. I use the little pink scissors from Dollar Tree. They're awesome detail scissors, and I just cut it all the way out. I think people call it a fussy cut when I'm just going in and cutting every little part, and it really didn't take that long. And then I'm just going to use this glue stick all over the front of, I almost said all over the front of my family, but that's kind of weird, all over the front of the family sign. And then I'm going to place this scrapbook paper down. You can Mod Podge over top of that if you like. I did. So then I take these two little hearts that again came from a hanging sign from Dollar Tree. I think it had 6 hearts on it. And I'm going to trace them on a coordinating scrapbook paper, cut them out, and then I'm just going to use my glue stick to attach those to the cardboard side of these hearts, and I will Mod Podge over them as well. I'm not sure if I show that or not, but Mod Podge is awesome for sealing things and being able to dust them and things like that. Or if you have several children like I do that make messes or kind of spill stuff and splash stuff, you can just go ahead and wipe things off once it is Mod Podged. So here I'm just cutting around the little ridges of the heart to give it a nice finish, and I actually use this Dollar Tree sanding block to kind of go ahead and finish up my edges as well. So now that that is done, I'm just going to lay everything out. So I go ahead and glue my hearts down, one on either side, and I'm very careful to make sure that they're not going to interfere with how my sign stands, because I want this to be able to stand on an end table to create a vignette. So now I'll glue down the family and I will place it between those two hearts and press it down. You can use any adhesive you like. I just use this Gorilla Glue. Sorry about that little noise a second ago. My kids are downstairs and they can be a little bit rowdy, but they're boys and boys will be rowdy, so I've gotten used to it. I do try and keep it as quiet as I can though for my voiceovers. Okay, now I'm taking a little bit of antique wax and I'm just brushing it very lightly. It's called a dry brush, when your brush barely has anything on it and you're just lightly going back and forth, and that is what I do. Okay, and I do show you the Mod Podging. I just put it on a Dollar Tree spongy brush and I just go over everything to make sure that again it's sealed and it is protected. And then I'm going to go ahead and just make sure everything is nice. Now I'm going to take some adorable little teeny tiny flowers that I found in a little container that my mom had. I know these are for scrapbooking. They have little pieces on the back where you can attach them to paper crafts, but I'm going to go ahead and place a few on each heart. And so if you want to find these hearts, you can just look at probably any craft store and you'll find things like this in the scrapbooking section. So I'm just again placing some different sizes on each heart and just kind of getting it to the way that I like it. I believe I do about 5 on each heart, and then that is it. So here is the sign. It was very inexpensive to make, only about $3.50, not even, and I just think it is so pretty and a nice big decor piece for a vignette or a bookshelf. This is a bookshelf that I have it on, and I really hope that you guys like this. Again, very customizable to your color and to your style. It's time for DIY number 3. This one is easy but so cute. I found this family sign at Dollar Tree and I'm going to go ahead. It's so cute how it stands up. So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to give the family a coat of my Waverly Ballet Slipper chalk paint with a tiny little brush so I can pay attention to detail. So I'm just doing that, just going over it really carefully. And it only takes one coat to give this a nice, pretty pink look. Then once that is done, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to paint my smaller heart again with that same color, the ballet slipper, and I'm just going to be kind of careful to define that larger heart there. I just went around and made sure that I didn't lose its shape. And then I'm going to take this beautiful beaded garland from the Dollar Tree. There is a pink and kind of a cream color one, and I'm just going to double over the pink one, and I'm going to use tiny dabs of hot glue on the bigger beads to go ahead and tack them down around this larger colored white heart until I get to the bottom, and then I will just trim off the excess. And then on the pink heart, I'm going to go ahead and use my cream beaded garland and just wrap that around and tack it down and cut off any excess. And I think it is so cute how this contrasts. You have to hold your bead into the glue for a second to get it to stay, but once it dries, you have a nice firm hold, and that all works out really well. So here's what I was talking about when you get to the bottom, just trimming off the excess, and then I just kind of squeeze them together a little bit with a tiny dab of that glue. So here is what that looks like, and then here's where I'm doing the part with the cream one. Same process. So like I said, the only two colors I found was the pink and the cream, but they are really, really pretty, and here's what that looks like. So then I'm going to go ahead and put some Waverly Antique Wax on my brush and go ahead and dry brush over the word family, and then I dry brush around the edges of the little hearts just to give them a little bit of this distressed look. This is totally optional if that is not the look that you prefer. And here is what it looks like with one of our other crafts that we're creating today. You can put pictures in there or scrapbook paper, whatever you like, but I think it's absolutely gorgeous. And here it is styled, a little vignette. Okay, DIY number 4 and my favorite. So I'm going to show you how I made these flowers and put them in a jar with a tray. So I'm starting out with a Dollar Tree tray, and this jar is from the Dollar General. Dollar Tree sells things similar, but I got this one at Dollar General for $1, I believe, and I'm going to pull off all of the embellishments, and then I'm going to go ahead and paint my platter or tray with my Waverly Plaster Chalk paint, and then I'm going to paint this jar with my Waverly Ballet Slipper. And I'm careful to not paint the top of the jar. I know it's going to be covered up anyway, so that's why I didn't tape it off. Now I'm going to go ahead and put a little piece of a ribbon around the top of my jar using some hot glue to tack it down on either side of the back. And then I want to glue it to this tray. So I'm going to take a few Jenga blocks that I had already glued together for a previous project. It really doesn't matter how many. I think I used about 7, and I just glue them to the back of my jar so that it will sit nicely in there. It will fit to the sides, and it stands up a little bit to give kind of a 3D appearance, and this actually works out really well. It fits perfectly. Then I'm just going to take 2 other Jenga blocks and go ahead and slide them down under the top. They don't go all the way down, but that is fine because they will be covered up with the beautiful florals that we are about to create. So here I'm just going to show you a variety of ribbons. Dollar Tree ribbon, some thrift store ribbon, was that lace ribbon, some Dollar General ribbon, I have some Michael's ribbon, just whatever I found in my stash I thought I might want to use, I brought out. I also brought out this little beaded garland, and this was my mom's, this little tray that had all of her little trinkets and beads and things in it, and then just some lace fabric that I had on hand, some Dollar Tree hearts and pearls. So here's some ideas of things you can use. I had scissors, detailing scissors, and my rotary cutter handy, as well as some extra glue. So I'm starting just with this plain ribbon, and what I'm doing is tying a knot, fairly similar to the flowers we have already made. I'm just going to show you a few different ones. So I'm just going to go ahead and tie a knot. Please be careful of your fingers or wear finger protectors. I'm going to use the top of this little ribbon spool, and yes, I left the Goodwill sticker on and you cannot see it, so it's okay. So I'm going to do the same process with the twisting and tacking down with the hot glue and just folding around. And then once I get it done to the point where I am happy with it, I'll just trim off any excess of that little cardboard piece there. So here I am just winding and twisting. These are so easy and they're so fun to make. I really had a blast creating these, and I know that my mom would have absolutely loved something like this. She was more of a paper crafter, and she was into miniatures. She liked to create like scenes with miniatures, and she had a gorgeous dollhouse that was totally decked out. My son has it now, but I know she would have absolutely loved something like this. So I'm just making this a fairly large flower here, just going round and round. And I'm going to use those tiny little detailing scissors from Dollar Tree to just kind of go in and snip off those little flyaways that are kind of sticking out. Burlap tends to fray quite a bit, so it's always handy to go ahead and give it a little teeny tiny haircut there. So now once here we go with the little haircut and cutting off any excess of the cardboard. You want that to show. And then I'm going to go ahead with a little piece of Dollar Tree lace. I'm going to tie a knot in it and just kind of create a little bunch with that knot, and then go around a couple of times gluing down just to kind of give this pretty little flower a center. And I'm going to kind of give this kind of like a swirled effect. So I'm just kind of going in between the folds and around this flower, if that makes sense. You can do so many different things with this. You could just leave it in the center. You could go around and around. You could just do the outside of the flower, whatever you like. You could do whatever you think looks pretty, whatever color combination you have. I also sometimes like to glue the lace to my ribbon so that it's like right on top of it, and that way it's kind of like a peekaboo look. And so whatever you think, whatever works. So here I'm following the same steps, just tacking down the end, and then if I have any excess, I will go ahead and trim that excess with my scissor. So you guys, if you have made it this far, you are absolutely amazing. I don't usually do my videos this long, but this one is a special one, and I really wanted to get into detail and explain how I made these because, like I said, they were so fun. And if you have a loved one and you maybe have some old clothes from them or old belongings, old jewelry, you can, use those clothes if you're not using them for anything else, and you can take scraps and make flowers out of them. You can use the jewelry to decorate your flowers. So there's just some ideas for you for memory keepsakes. Now that last flower that we did, I did go ahead and pop a little Dollar Tree pearl in the middle. So now I'm just creating a flower with this beautiful pink lace that I had. I just went ahead and cut a messy cut, a strip, and I'm just wrapping it around. I actually purchased this beautiful pink lace at a yard sale, so I've been using it a little bit every so often for about a year, just taking pieces off. And so here we go, just doing the same thing, wind around and trim off. This one comes out super adorable. I really like it because the lace is like a tighter knit fabric. It twists up really well. But again, if you wanted to put twine beside it and roll them both together, that would look really nice. Now I'm just taking a little pearly type thing that my mom had in her little box, and then I'm just trying to see how I want to embellish the outside. I had thought about going around with this little strip of pearls that she had, but I decided no. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim off whatever cardboard is showing. And then, of course, if any of my ribbon is sticking out where it is not supposed to be, I will trim that off as well. Here we had a little sticking outy part. So now I'm just going to go ahead and arrange my flowers. This flower that you see me putting down right now is made from the Dollar Tree burlap. I just kind of looped that around, kind of leaving it a little bit loose so it's a big fluffy flower. I think that one is really pretty. So here I'm just figuring out exactly how I want them, tacking them down. Those little Jenga blocks that I put there do come in handy to keep things elevated. So the one in the middle kind of sinks down, and then I have one on either side, kind of giving it a 3D appearance. I got another large one there at the top. I'm going to put a teeny tiny lace ones that I made out of that lace I got from Goodwill. I'm just trying to figure out, I don't want it to look like a square arrangement, but I don't have a lot of space, so I'm just trying to go ahead and figure out a way to make it look pretty and flowing and not square, if that makes sense, and just really nice at the top. So here I am doing that, and at this point I realized I needed a couple more flowers, so I went ahead and made another lace flower, another ribbon flower, and I think that this looks pretty. I didn't want any flowers hanging off the edge. I was concerned about like the shape that my flowers were making, but I didn't want them hanging off the edge, so this is what I came up with, and I think it looks really nice. And now I'm going to go ahead and just glue some tails on, and then a little bow that I made with Dollar Tree ribbon, and I just went around the middle with a piece of Dollar Tree trim. And then I'm just going to take that little strip of pearls that I had out earlier from my mom's stash, and I'm just going to glue it around my bow just to be the finishing touch on this beautiful piece. And then I just decided that it needed a little antique wax dry brushing. So after I cut the ends of my ribbon to a dovetail, I'll go ahead and put some antique wax on a brush, and I will go ahead and go around the whole edge of the tray that is underneath, just lightly going over those little bumps so that they show and give them some definition. And I just think that looks really, really nice. It gives a little dimension and design. And then I'll just lightly go around the edges of that jar there and just a tiny bit on the top of the jar. And here's what it looks like, you guys. This is so, so pretty. Very customizable to fabric colors and styles, and also a great way to remember a loved one or a special person in your life. I really hope that you like this idea. This next Dollar Tree DIY is fun and easy, and I'm so excited to show you how I made this awesome XOXO love box. So I began by repurposing something that I had made at Christmas time as an advent calendar. I had taken 4 of these wooden boxes from the Dollar Tree, and they each have 4 squares in them, and I had attached them with hot glue. So here I'm just showing you the sides of the wooden boxes. So like I said, there's 4 of them, and each one of them have 4 little spaces in them, and I had attached them with hot glue. I had stained them, but I'm going to change that. So here I have a love sign from the Dollar Tree and some little heart cutouts. So I paint over the stain. I paint 2 coats of Waverly White chalk paint on my shelf. I then paint my love sign with 2 coats of Waverly Ballet Slipper chalk paint. I'm going to attach my love sign to the bottom of this box by just placing glue where the 2 are going to connect. I use hot glue, but you can use a longer term glue if you like. I then take these hearts with the little cutouts, and again, they are from Dollar Tree. They come 8 to a pack, and I paint them with a ballet slipper as well, and I glue them down. They go on top of the box, not inside as they don't quite fit, but I like the 3D look. Then I'm going to make several X's by using 4 Jenga blocks. I'm going to glue 2 sets of 2 end to end, and then put 1 set on top of the other to form an X. I am then going to mix some medium gray by Folk Art and some Waverly White together to create this gray that I like. Now these X's will fit inside of the box. So I'm going to place my X in every other box. So my hearts are my O's and here are my X's. And I'm also using hot glue for these X's, but again, you could use any type of adhesive that you would like. This project is so simple, but I really think that it is really, really cute. So again, you guys, I am so glad you're here today. I want to welcome you and say please subscribe to my channel if you have not. We are growing and we're just having so much fun in our little community. We would love to have you be a part. If you're already subscribed to my channel, thank you so much. Okay, so now I do take one more of those little hearts and I paint it with a gray mixture just for some contrast, and I glue it on the O of my love. So take this pretty lace from the Dollar Tree that has little hearts on it, and I put it all the way around my box. So I just use tiny dabs of hot glue to just kind of adhere this on so that it goes around the box and just adds a little bit of a feminine touch and some pretty dimension. So now I'm going to take the back of a picture frame, it doesn't matter what size, whatever you have on hand that's extra, and just glue it to the back, and this will assist in the standing as it's a little bottom heavy. So here we go. This is what it looks like. It's so pretty for a large kind of XOXO sign. Dollar Tree items, I think it's a really great deal. Okay, let's get into our next DIY. This next one is fun and easy, and I'm pretty sure you've probably seen 105 different YouTubers create these pillows, well, similar pillows, so I would not be sure who to credit, but I just grabbed a Dollar Tree blanket, and they have some really cute patterns sometimes, and also these little love cutouts and these heart cutouts from Dollar Tree. I cut the tag off of my blanket, and then I just folded my blanket in half lengthwise so I had a nice long pillow. Now I'm going to be using hot glue on mine, but if you like to sew, you have a sewing machine, that would be super easy. Or if you like to hand sew, hey, go for it. I, however, do not like to do either one of those things and do not own a machine, so hot glue works really well for me. The only thing is you don't really want to pop this in the washing machine, so it's kind of a spot clean pillow if you use hot glue. So again, just hot glue around. You're only going to have to hot glue around 2 of the sides since one is already put together, and you just want 3 sides attached and 1 open. Then you're just going to want to turn your pillowcase inside out, which will actually be our nice clean side with some nice edges. And I'm going to grab up one of these love sides, and I am going to trace it onto my pillow. Now I am sanding off all of this glitter just to show you that if you don't feel like tracing and painting, you could sand off the glitter and just glue this directly to your pillow. However, you won't want to rest your face on it, which you probably won't want to rest your face on the paint either. So this is kind of a decorative pillow, but I chose to just lay this down on top of my pillowcase and just trace around it with a paint marker. I outline the entire thing, and then I grab my Waverly Ballet Slipper chalk paint and I fill in my outline with 2 coats of this, just using a little sponge dabber. Of course, you could customize this to any color that you like. If you're more into red for Valentine's Day, you could use the Waverly Crimson color, would be really pretty, or you could use a different shade of pink. You could even mix a red and this light pink to get kind of a darker shade. So whatever you like, and I do use my heat gun to dry them in between coats just because I'm impatient, but make sure not to get too close to the blanket if you do that. Then I took this little heart here and I folded it over because one side's bigger and I wanted my heart to be uniform. So I just kind of cut it out like so, and then on the other pillow I traced this heart, and I'm also going to be filling in this heart with 2 coats of ballet slipper. Then to this heart I'm going to take some of this beautiful heart lace ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to outline my heart using bits of hot glue. And you probably want to use some finger protectors, which Dollar Tree sells, or a silicone spatula. My fingers really don't feel much at this point, so I'm not too worried about it since I can never find my finger protectors anyway, but just saying. So now I just cover the whole outline in this lace ribbon, and I try to have my ends meet up in the middle of the heart top, the little divot there at the top, so I have a nice clean finish. And then once I am done with that, this heart looks absolutely adorable. I really love this ribbon, this heart ribbon. I think it is so pretty. So just trimming off any excess, and then you're going to have another adorable little pillow. Again, of course, this pillow is super customizable to your colors or whatever cutout you want to trace or glue on to here. Then you're going to want to stuff your pillow. I like to use old pillows I have on hand or pillows that you can get at Walmart for very inexpensive. Just take the stuffing out. And as I am gluing my end shut after it is stuffed, I do like to tuck the end in for a nice clean finish. So I'm just kind of tucking carefully as I go. Again, it would be super smart to use finger protectors at this point. You can stuff your pillow as full or as not full as you like. And then I chose to glue around my end there some of more of this lace ribbon just to give it a really cute finish here. And of course, I'm also going to do it to the other end to keep it uniform. And I do this on both pillows, and I think they came out absolutely adorable and very inexpensive. As you can see, my puppy dogs are really enjoying this. This is last year, so we had just lost our other female dog and we hadn't gotten our little male rescue yet. So you're just going to see two of my dogs cozying up on my bed, but we do have three now. So here's Winston. At this point, he's about 6, and here is Diana. She's about 2, and I've had them both since they were teeny tiny little puppies. Actually, Diana used to ride around in my sweatshirt, and now she is 80 pounds and still tries to climb inside of my shirt, which is kind of weird and awkward, but cute. So here they are, just kind of wanted to share that. Now, here is another idea for you. Again, there is so many creators that do fake treats on YouTube. So like I said, I'm going to link Bargain Bethany below because she's the one I've seen do it the most. But also Cross by Caitlin, I've seen her use a glass cup like this. So I'm going to take my glass cup like I just showed it there, and I am going to paint the inside with my Waverly ballet slipper chalk paint, and then I'm going to come over to this little foam round that I showed, and I'm going to use caulking for the top, and I'm going to use a sponge brush that I can just throw away to kind of smooth everything out and get it how I like it. Now I get it nice, and then I do let it dry overnight, and I add a little bit more at the top just to give it a peak, because it kind of sinks down a little bit. So if you allow it to dry and then add more, that is a good way to puff it up. But I used about a tube on top of this little styrofoam round, and I did purchase this styrofoam round at the Dollar Tree. It almost fits perfectly down into my mug. It does sink down a tiny bit, but I put a little bit of paper towels under it. So here is what it looks like. It is not hard at all, and it's actually really fun and satisfying to do. And then with a sponge brush is perfect just to kind of make sure it looks all smooth. Bargain Bethany usually uses cake piping bags and things like that, but I'm just doing this. This is easy for me. I may do more projects like this and get a little more fancy. So here is what I was talking about with that cup. I take a sponge brush and put some of that Waverly ballet slipper on there, and then I just brush the inside of this cup, and then once that is dry, I'm going to Mod Podge over it, because again, anytime you paint glass or metal, it will scratch off if you do not Mod Podge it. And this just looks so awesome being on the inside of the cup. So I am using a dishwash safe Mod Podge, and I used a little bit too much. I had to pour it out. But I'm using the dishwasher safe because that's all I have on hand. It's not necessary. Then I put that little topper back in there once it had dried overnight, and I just kind of go around the edge there where there's a little bit of a crack. Just kind of go around that edge, and then I'm also going to add another little dollop on top. Now that it is hardened, my little dollop will stick up the way I want it to and look super cute. Then I use tiny dabs of this caulking to adhere the little hearts to the top, and I also use it to adhere the hearts to the outside of the cup. I put one on either side, and that caulking works really well to adhere these hearts to the glass. So here is what everything looks like together. I just think that this is so cute and so sweet for Valentine's Day. I really hope you guys like these projects. They're so fun to make. So here is another fun and easy DIY that is inexpensive. I am going to take a Dollar Tree muffin tin that has these little heart shapes here, and I am going to paint it with my Waverly Ballet Slipper chalk paint. I do recommend taking a little sandpaper and roughing it up a little bit. The paint will stick much better. And I also recommend using a foam brush. This worked really well for me. Here I am just sanding the back a little bit with a sanding block that I had purchased from Dollar Tree, and then painting of this. So once I get it painted, I then decide to paint every other heart with my Waverly Plaster Chalk paint. Here you see I did all three on the bottom, and then I kind of changed direction. So whatever colors you like and whatever pattern you think looks nice. And then after I am done painting, I am going to give the whole thing a coat of Mod Podge. I can't remember if I show that or not, but anytime you paint over metal or glass, you definitely want to give it a coat of Mod Podge so it does not scratch off. And so here's what I decided. So I have pink, and then plaster, and then pink, and then in the bottom it's opposite. So I take this beautiful lace ribbon from the Dollar Tree that has little hearts on it, and I'm going to go around my pink heart with this using tiny dabs of hot glue. Now please be smarter than me and use some finger protectors. My fingers are pretty much immune at this point, but I'm just going ahead and pressing that down. So again, I'm going to do this to the three that have that Waverly Ballet slipper, and then I'm not going to do it to the other ones, but to the other ones I will place a little flower. So I just do a couple different colored little flowers that came on a sheet from Dollar Tree. They do have a little bit of glitter on them, but Dollar Tree also sells foam ones if you're lucky enough to find those. So then I'm going to use some more of that lace to put through that hole at the top for a hanger. So this was super easy peasy, and I love how it came out. I then take another little piece and tie that around the top of my hanger, and I can hang this on the wall or set it up. I do dry brush lightly around with my Waverly Plaster chalk paint just here and there to make some of the little indentions pop out, and I just think that that looks really cute. And then I just go ahead and Mod Podge. Of course, I don't Mod Podge over any of the decorations, but I just Mod Podge all around them to make sure everything stays nice. And here's what it looks like once it is all dry and ready to display. I hope you like that one. Okay, so jumping right into the next one, I had purchased this wreath after Christmas clearance at Michael's. I love to get after Christmas clearance and either save it for the next year, or some you can even use all year round or for Valentine's Day. These beautiful roses are also mostly from Michael's. I had purchased some of these after the spring season and some after the Christmas season. So I have a whole tote where I just like to place clearance roses and then just pull them out when I want to use them. So for this wreath, I'm going to keep it really simple, no bow. I just want it to be really classy and elegant. And also I want these florals to be reusable. So I'm just going to cut them down so they have a stem that I can go ahead and stick right inside of this wreath form. So I always like to start with my biggest roses, my showcase roses, and put them down first just to make sure that they get nice placement. So I'm going to be doing that, and I'm also going to be using the leaves off of several of these picks and just tucking them around my florals to make sure that everything looks nice and fluffy, and also to add a pop of color as these roses are really light colored. So here I am doing that, just adding in my favorites first, putting some leaves around them, and then I will continue coming in with more roses as I see fit. I also have some really pretty little light pink flowers. I'm not sure what they're called, but they're so nice, and I think it looks really nice and sweet when they're kind of on either side, just kind of swagging down. So that's what I'm going to do. I continue to add roses and greenery. You can go all the way around this thing if you have tons of roses. I just wanted to do this, and here's those little pretty flowers that I was saying I tucked in on either side. Now there is a lot of open space. If you wanted to add a bow or even some like pretty pink ornaments, that would be really nice. I just decided to keep this really simple, and I love how it came out. I do apologize that for some reason I don't have a super great picture of it, but it is so pretty. Okay, so here is another idea for you. Actually, it's a couple little ideas. I had this wooden shelf that I had just created that was really small. So these will be perfect for that. Or if you need something for a tiered tray or a small vignette, Dollar Tree has got you. I grabbed this heart shape that is wood from the Dollar Tree, painted it with 2 coats of Waverly Ballet Slipper, and then dry brushed it with Waverly Antique Wax. I also went around the whole outside edge of this heart with that beautiful heart lace ribbon from the Dollar Tree. This is just a cute way to add some small filler for that little space that you don't know where to put. If you want this to stand up, you could use a small Jenga block, or Dollar Tree also carries some small wood blocks that you could glue in the back and have this kind of stand up at an angle, which would be really cute. I honestly don't mind just kind of placing it in the shelf, standing it up against the back, but that is another idea for you. Then I grab another one of these little wooden hearts from Dollar Tree. To this one, I'm going to be painting it with my Waverly Plaster chalk paint around the sides, and I'm going to grab another one of these beautiful stickers that I like to use. They're wall stickers from Dollar Tree. I'm going to go ahead and place down one side of the sticker onto my heart, lift up the other side so I can see where to paint, and then place it down. Press firmly. I'm then going to trim all the way around the outside of this heart, so my beautiful flower is just on top of the heart there. So that's what that looks like. Of course, I have to go ahead and go around this with my beautiful lace ribbon again, but I'm not going to go all the way around. I'm just going to cut one tiny little strip, and I'm going to put it where the flower ends and that white shows, or that plaster color shows. And I'm just going to glue it down kind of at an angle, just like so. Then here you have some adorable little decorations for a small shelf again, or a vignette, or a tiered tray. I think these are really cute. Of course, Dollar Tree has many different wall stickers, so you could customize that one, and you could also customize color as always. So here is a little bonus for you. This is one of my 8-year-old twins. He absolutely loves crafting with me. All of my kids do, but him in particular. So he wanted to make a gnome. We took a Dollar Tree duster mop, some rice, and a sock. We poured a generous amount of rice into one sock, as he wanted a very fluffy gnome. He says this gnome reminds him of Papa Smurf for some reason. I'm not quite sure why, but however, we pour lots and lots of rice in there, and then we tie some twine around the top, and we cut off the excess of that sock. Then I go ahead and carefully glue down a piece of my Dollar Tree duster mop pad to the front to be the beard. Once that is all tacked down the way I like it, I just kind of wrap it around the sides and tack it down. Once it's all tacked down, we're ready to begin on the hat. So I just have Elliot put a little excess piece of this mop pad into the other sock after we cut the heel off, and this becomes our hat. So here he is just kind of putting that in there, and then I go ahead and help out to make sure it's not super lumpy. He doesn't often care for help, but he does let me help him with this project. So then we go ahead and place the hat down on top of the beard and the little gnome's backside, and we use some hot glue to tack that hat down so everything stays together. We use a Dollar Tree pom-pom off of the pom-pom garland to create the nose with a little dab of hot glue, and then we just kind of make sure that that hat is sitting down nicely on top of the nose. Then Elliot is going to take a piece of Dollar Tree heart lace, and he's going to wrap it around the top and tie it tightly to create a little kind of pom-pom at the end. So he's having a little bit of trouble here, but does let me help him tie that knot. And once that is done, I do kind of fold this hat over and glue it down. You don't have to do this. I just like to kind of fold it over. I like the way that looks, and I do use a generous amount of hot glue and hold it until it is dry. And then Elliot decorates this with some heart stickers from Dollar Tree. He put some larger red and pink ones, and then he put some little white ones inside of them, and it looks absolutely adorable. So again, thank you so much for stopping by today. I really hope that you enjoyed the video, and I hope that you like this little cute bonus. Elliot, what did you make today?
Papa Smurf.
Papa Smurf in gnome form? What holiday is this for?
Valentine.
Okay, so that is it for this video. If you made it to the end, I truly appreciate you. Thank you so much. Take care and stay safe, friends. I will see you soon.
You can subscribe to my mom's channel. And thank you for watching today's craft and stay safe.